Hi, and welcome to this episode of Detail and Bell. My name is Bill. So, the other night, I'm sitting there doing what I love to do most, and that's perusing YouTube for detailing videos and anything about cars. And I run across this UK video that was phenomenal. You ought to check it out. But they basically found a Ferrari 512 Boxer that had been abandoned for years and years, and went out and pursued it and bought the car and started doing it, fixing it up. And I started thinking to myself, this is almost exactly like we're doing with our C4 restoration. But what are the differences? And then I started looking at the prices they were paying for this car, and I started thinking to myself, wow, this really comes down to you never want to meet your heroes, because back in the day, those might have been considered supercars, but for the price today, that is a big investment for what you're getting. So instead of just touting out my opinion, I thought I would put it on the whiteboard and put what we like to call around here the Billy scale. And that allows you to see the facts, and then you can decide which way we're going versus which way the Ferrari's going and which way makes more sense. So let's get started. So this Bella, he finds the Ferrari 512 and he pays $300K plus for it. I mean, that is a ton of money for a car that doesn't even run. And then I went back and started looking at it and thinking, well, it is a supercar. But when you look at the stats, it really, by today's standard, isn't even close. We've got performance. Our horsepower comes in at 340 horsepower on a 12-cylinder motor. Not overly efficient. We've got our speed test, which is 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. Well, a good Camry could probably hold its own against the Testarossa. And I know I'm bashing a legend, but just hear me through. And then we've got parts. So far, we're not done with the whole series, and we're up to about 30K plus in parts alone. 300,000, 30K, that's a lot of money for a car that doesn't run yet. And when we go through all this, when it's done, will it really be that much more enjoyable than our C4? I don't know. Let's take a look over here. We start out with the Corvette. We found it out in the field, and we paid $4K for it. Not bad all in. Our performance stats, we're running a little low at 245 horsepower. However, somehow, Chevrolet has managed to pull off a faster 0 to 60 time at 5.4, which is respectable. And parts for all of this, when you see this transformation, you're going to be blown away to know that we only spent about $1,500 for parts. So when we start out right then and there, the Corvette it's not looking like a bad option. However, we had to prove it out. So we started our matrix here that will allow you to see cool versus fun, price versus maintenance. And here is our price scale. We start at 1 and go to 10. And here is our cool versus fun, and we start at 1 and go to 10. And then we've got our conversion line. Now, there's a couple of places you never want to go here, and one of them is the no-go zone. That's the world of Rabbit convertibles, Scirocco's, things like that. Yeah, we'll just stay out of there. Over here, as we get to cooler and funner, we start to hit our sweet spot. However, if the convergence point of price versus maintenance rises too quickly, we start hitting the divorce zone. We never want to be there. That's when we spend way too much money that goes towards college educations and whatnot on a car we love. So when we do this convergence chart here and start to compare our scores, I think you're going to find out that the C4 is really a great option for guys like us who love to fix up cars and love to make them beautiful and still come out of it with a full wallet. So our overall score, we gave beauty, okay, it is Italian and it is a beautiful car, a 9 plus for the Boxer. Then we came down price at 330K so far, we had to give it a 1. Cool fun factor, definitively an 8 for the fun factor. They're a little arduous to drive, but I would go much higher on the cool factor itself. But if we put the 1, the 8 together, we score a 9 at 330K. Now we come over to our Corvette at all in $5,500. Price, we got to give that a 10. Cool fun, I would have given it a 9 after driving it because I just love that car. But we had some arguments around the office where everyone said, beating the Ferrari on the cool fun, no chance. But I gotta tell you, the lines on this car, if you squinted, those little round tail lights, you could almost swear it was Italian. And when you're done seeing the restoration on it, it's not gonna matter. It's gonna be a beautiful car. So there you have it. The Billy Matrix zone on what's better, a rare Ferrari or a not so rare Corvette, and which one's gonna give us the most pleasure. And there you go. So let's get started now and go get rolling on the C4.
Sorry to interrupt your current programming, or your Detail and Bell episode.
However, in the front office, they wanted us to talk to you about the importance of subscribing and telling us that you like the kind of content we're producing.
So like and subscribe.
And keep us employed.
Okay, so after seeing the Billy Matrix, I just got so excited to come back and start working on this C4. I went through, removed the bolts of the seat, and I wanted to share with you guys what we find, because a lot of times, especially with old cars like this, 1988, you're gonna find a treasure chest of different valuables that people have left behind over the years. So let's take a look here. Obviously the seats are not in the best condition. Okay, sometimes you find cash. So I don't see any cash. Here's some sunglasses. Okay, well, we're keeping those. And then, that came out easier than I thought. Obviously the motor's broken. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna clean this up, and I'd really like to show you guys the new seats, but we're actually gonna go through and replace the carpet in here. So we'll circle back here once I start going through taking out the carpet, and we'll go from there. Oh yeah. Okay, so I was really excited and I wanted to show you guys the seats, but since I can't, I'll show you the carpets. Now, for anybody who watches this show, you know we're not big on red interiors, so we're going black. But we wanted to keep it so it has a little character with the C4 as well, and that's where the red floor mats are gonna come in. Now, I'm gonna shoot it over to Bill here. He's gonna show you what we're doing with the steering wheel and the dash, and we'll go from there.
So here we are on the interior of the C4. And I gotta tell you, around here, the more we start calling this a restoration instead of a detail, the more the front office is loosening up their purse strings and giving us a little bit more budget. So I'm excited about all the things we're gonna be able to do to this car's interior. Now, once we went through and started assessing what it really needed to kind of make a big transition here is, we started looking at the plastic dash parts. And I gotta tell you, after 34 years, a plastic dash takes its share of abuse. So what we wanted to do was go in and refinish it. And to do that, it's really quite easy, because 1988, they put on everything with Phillips head screws. So we just started going through here and taking off screws and removing panels. And I gotta tell you, it's pretty darn easy once you get rolling. You just take these, pop them off, and all the panels come out one piece at a time. And I gotta tell you, it's not a bad way for detailers either, because these things are filthy. So what we're gonna do is actually soak them in a mixture of hyper cleanse and hot water, let them get cleaned up, and then we're gonna come back in and refinish them. Now you might be saying, well, how are you gonna do that? They're made of plastic. Well, we've got a few tricks up our sleeves around here, and we like to use a plastic spray paint. And yes, we're not going to do this on a Ferrari, so don't yell to the wife, honey, they're spray painting the car again, because after we're done though, this stuff is almost scratch free. It's just so durable, and you can put it on here and you won't be able to tell the difference between a brand new dash and one that we've done here. So let's let these soak for a minute, then we'll come back a little bit later. I'll show you how to apply this for the best results, and we'll move on to the next step, the steering wheel. So one of the things I love best about working on this C4 is there are so many of them out there that there is just a huge amount of aftermarket parts you can choose from. And so we knew that this car needed a new steering wheel, and it was really easy to find one, and it was only about $150. So what we're gonna do now is I'll show you how we're gonna take this steering wheel off and replace it with a brand new steering wheel, which in and of itself, I think is gonna transform the interior. However, you can't really replace a new leather steering wheel and leave a shifter boot that looks like this. So we're also going to take off the shifter knob, pull this part, refinish the plastic, and put on a new leather boot. And when we're done, I'm going to tell you, you will not recognize the interior of this car. So what we talked about earlier, the great thing about this car is everything is so easy to work on. If we want to pull the wheel, we just twist, and then we can pop off the horn, and then we take our steering wheel puller, we will put it inside here, start cranking the bolts, we'll put it in the right way, start cranking the bolts, this steering's going to pop off, and later on you're going to see the reveal of a brand new Corvette leather steering wheel, turning this entire interior to look like brand new. And there you have it. So around here, I got to tell you, we were pretty excited about the condition of the paint once we got the mud and the feathers off. But upon closer inspection, we really got a good look at how scratched up the paint surface really is over 30 some odd years of washing and drying this car. So what we wanted to do was go back and do a color correction on 50% of the car so you could really see the difference that a couple of minutes work will make. Now we're not completely done yet, but we brought out our gloss meter so you can see before and after, because a lot of times we talk about what the eye picks up versus the camera. And on the camera, looking at the cuts, it looks like the paint's brand new, but up close, it really does need some cosmetic work. So for this test, we're going to use the light meter, take before paint readings at 101, then after paint readings at 119. Now you have to understand that the lights affect the gloss meter a little bit and add to it, but we took literally a 19-point jump in just about 20 minutes of paint correction. So when we're done with this, it's really going to make a big difference on the overall appearance of the C4. We're excited to show you. Okay, the hallmark of any good detailer is how seamlessly they can move from the interior to the exterior of the car. I have wanted to take these stupid things off now since this thing got pulled into the studio. They drive me nuts. We had some kind of varmint chew through them, and every time I look at the car, it's just sad. So let's get these off, and we're gonna replace them with brand new visors and really do some fun things to this windshield. When we come back, you'll get a chance to see what they look like.
Wow. So what are you gonna do with this?
Oh, sorry, I was kind of in a trance just thinking about it.
We both were.
As you know, I love these Corvette engines and just the way they get showcased when you lift up the hood. I mean, so much theatrics behind it. I don't know, we just gotta go through and do it justice. So I thought we would go through and really polish up some of the silver aluminum parts, get down dirty and just take out all the dust, polish up the rocker arms, and just really make it a showcase car that we could be at any car show around and have the hood up and people would stop and go, oh.
I honestly think it could be one of the best engine cleans that we've ever done.
I think so too. But
It's so classic.
yeah, it really is. It's just analog, raw horsepower.
Yeah.
Who needs Italian? God bless America. So let's take it over and start doing our magic on it and see if we can't make it look as pretty as she sounds.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, so the best thing about Bill removing the dash is that we can actually start doing a detail on the dash. And as you can see, it's absolutely disgusting. But on the positive side, I did find some of the cash that we've been looking for. So let's get started. Wowza, the paint is looking so good.
That is sweet of you to notice. Yeah, I really think after I do one more pass and finish that panel over there, this car is going to look like brand new. really
It's coming
does
along.
look good.
Yeah, it is.
So.
But what I'm really excited about is the wheels.
Oh.
Where are we at with those?
Me too. Well, they're still getting mounted and balanced. However, once we get them back, I think that'll give you time to get the interior done. And then we'll finish all the other details in the engine. And I really think we're going to have one of the best C4 transformations ever shown.
Okay. Well, make sure you tune in for the next episode. Like, subscribe, so we can keep doing what we're doing. And we'll see you on the next episode of Detail and Bell.
Right on. Yeah, I don't know what's taking them with those wheels. This is just stupid.
You were in charge of the wheels.
Well, you know, I'm doing my best. The hallmark of any good detailer is versatility, where you can seamlessly move from the exterior. Start over.